Here it is, Russia Today, RT.com. First, Flint, Michigan. Now Jackson, Mississippi city warns pregnant women and kids of lead in their water. Maybe they realized, man, we don't want to do what that other governor did, where he knew about it for 2 years. Try to pretend like they didn't, and then, okay, we did, but what was your plan? Nothing. We just kind of talked about it for 2 years. Didn't tell anybody? Nah. Didn't warn anybody? No, nah. Maybe he thought it was just going to go away. So, as I said the other day, J-Snips used to be 3 things you needed to prepare for what's coming. Now there's 4. As I said. Guns, precious metals, nice food supply, and now a way to ensure your drinking water is absolutely pure. The reverse osmosis unit that I bought on Amazon was made by APEC, APEC, I think, and it was a Row 75 let me think of how they spelled that. ROAH or something like that, 75, or ROH something 75. There's multiple ones. It's a 5-stage filter. The 5th stage filter is actually not necessarily filtering. It is actually putting some minerals back in your water. Because reverse osmosis water strips almost everything you can imagine out of the water. So for every one of these stories you hear about, I'm here to tell you, and you already know this, so don't pretend like you don't, because you do. You already know there's way more than what you hear about taking place. How many cities is this happening in? That's the true question. Officials in Jackson, Mississippi have cautioned pregnant women and children against drinking the city's tap water to avoid lead exposure. Wait a minute, got a reverse osmosis filter, Mayor. I'll drink the hell out of that water because it'll be filtered phenomenally. Rest of you sheep, sorry about your luck. Sorry about the cancer you're going to have. Sorry about the death you're going to deal with in your lives later on. Problems. You think the medical and healthcare industry is bad now? The problems people are going to be experiencing just from drinking the water. Much less our terrible diets and the garbage food that we're allowed to eat because the FDA approves everything. It's going to get to the point. I remember watching a documentary years ago, and it showed that up until around the year 2000, because that's what they had data for, going back to the year 1900, and starting then, cancer rate was like 1 out of 35 people in their lifetime would get cancer. And then 1950s, 60s, 70s, right, as we start to get into allowing food to have chemicals and all this crap and stuff, the ratio starts coming down. By the time it's around the year 2000, the study is now showing 1 out of 3 people will get cancer in their lifetime. 2016 to the year 2000, that was 16 years ago from the data. Would anybody be willing to bet me it's now at least 1 out of 2? If not, on average, 1 out of freaking 1. So everybody's going to get cancer during their lifetime now. Because of the stuff we drink, eat, breathing in as well, but not so much breathing in. It's eating and drinking. You are what you eat, which also includes drinking. You have to take matters into your own hands. Are you taking the news, alternative media, which I consider myself a little bit of that, into your own hands? You are. If you're watching this video, you are taking your information source into your own hands. You're not flipping on Fox News, CNN to get your news. You're saying, I'd rather go to YouTube or wherever on the internet and find my news. You're taking matters into your own hands. We would all like to think, well, with our food and water, we got the FDA. I mean, we shouldn't have to do that. I feel comfortable. The first part is right. We have the FDA. We shouldn't have to do that. That's what they're there for. But as you can see, they're completely corrupt from top to bottom and all about making that dollar, payoffs, backdoor deals. Everybody's approved if you're part of the club. Next thing, approved 2-3 more new shots to give to your kid in a new regiment of shots they'll have in there throughout their lives. Add 2 or 3 more of those. You want that approved, Monsanto? What study did you do to show that that's not harmful? Here we go. We hired this third-party company to tell you that their results are great. And who's the third-party company? One of our buddies. And if they don't produce good information on you, what happens? We don't use them. They're fired. They're gone. They'll probably go bankrupt. Yeah. So once again, it is difficult for a man to tell the truth when his job depends upon him not telling the truth. The water in Jackson has not been deemed unsafe. However, out of an abundance of caution, pregnant women and small children are recommended to follow the Mississippi State Department of Health's recommendations for the prevention of lead exposure from drinking water, city officials said in a statement. What I'm most curious about, honestly, personally, it's just lead. We're not hearing like some kind of radioactive or something else. It's lead. Both instances. Where is this lead coming from? That's what I'm curious about. And you got Michigan. I mean, is there something somehow underground water getting into the Mississippi, flowing from top to bottom of the country? You know, is there some rotten multinational corporation that happens to be right on that river or a river that feeds that river, and they're following our EPA guidelines when nobody's looking, or when somebody's looking? But when nobody's looking, we got to get rid of this trash. Dump it in the river. How many stories have you ever heard about that? Well, they were caught dumping something in the river, or we had a little break in the pipe and we didn't know, but it was flooding the river for, actually we're not sure how long, but we fixed it now, we're good. And then the rest of us sit back and say, well, hold on. I find it peculiar that you guys built that massive warehouse building, production center, whatever it is, smokestacks and all, right on the river. You made that decision from the beginning, but you don't need to be on the river, right? No, we could be anywhere. But you chose to be on the river. Probably because of the prime real estate. You want a beautiful view, right? Right. Or you need a place to dump your toxic sludge. Out of 58 water samples taken from random homes in June, 13 of them showed to have lead levels between 17 and 20 parts per billion. And let me tell you, that's very, very small when considering per billion, not million. However, exceeding the federal actionable threshold of 15 parts per billion. The affected areas include residences in Southwest Jackson and North Jackson. The city has begun to resample the affected area along with an additional 42 sites. Quote, exceeding the action level does not necessarily indicate a violation of the Safe Drinking Water Act, which, by the way, I love those acts, right? Because that's a law that's been passed. I always have to mention this. The Patriot Act. Oh, it's so patriotic. The St. Germain Act, savings and loan scandal, banking scandal in the 80s. And then you look at what they did. The Affordable Care Act. Not affordable. No part of the word care should even be in there either. Is it surprising? Indicate a violation of the Safe Drinking Water Act. So you passed an act, now what? Nothing. It's just words. It's been violated the whole damn time. Oh, that's right on par then with what government does and their corporate masters. However, additional compliance measures must be met, including more frequent sampling and taking measures to mitigate the reaction of the finished water with piping, plumbing, and service lines. Mitigation measures typically include implementation of flushing programs and optimizing corrosion control during the treatment process, city authorities said. The city's water source itself does not contain lead, but instead may be caused by the corrosion of subpar water infrastructure in certain areas officials added. I'll be the only one to raise my hand. Yeah, Jay Snip, go ahead. Did you get those, your water infrastructure, like piping, from China by chance? Oh, yeah, we did. No further questions, Your Honor. Anyone? Black Chinese drywall, anyone? Yeah, okay. Lead enters the water from the corrosion of materials containing lead. No. You're kidding me. Lead enters the water from corrosion of materials containing lead. That's a shocker. When water is in contact with service lines and plumbing containing lead for several hours, the lead may enter drinking water. Homes built prior to 1988 are more likely to have lead pipes or solder, according to the authorities. Oh, I love the authorities. Lead exposure can lead to health problems, with infants and small children being most at risk due to the possibility of developmental problems such as lowered intelligence and attention deficit issues. The city has provided public education pamphlets to healthcare facilities and child care centers that are served by the city's water system. Oh, you got blood? You got lead in your blood? Yeah, here's a pamphlet. You got kids coming in with more than normal lead in their bodies? Yeah, here's a pamphlet. Pamphlet. Okay, now what? We don't know. Just, here's a pamphlet. Jackson officials will also submit corrosion control study to state water authorities, as well as a plan for the optimization of the city's water treatment. The concerns about the integrity of Jackson's water supply come at a time when controversy swirls over the handling of lead-contaminated water in Flint, Michigan. Democratic presidential contender Hillary Clinton made comments earlier in February pushing for Jackson to take action on its water and calling for national infrastructure improvements. And I wonder how many of Hillary's donors are some of these big companies polluting the hell out of rivers and waterways across America. I'm heartened that Jackson City officials are taking the right steps to fix the problem, including repeated testing and openness with the results, so families can stay informed, Hillary Clinton said in a statement. As the emergency in Flint, Michigan has made clear, cities and states must treat these situations with the utmost seriousness and do everything in their power to ensure that families, especially children, gotta plug that one, have access to safe, clean drinking water. I wonder who wrote that for you, Clinton. Bet you came up with that on your own, huh? Not a chance in hell. Oh, there's an opportunity. Make sure you throw out the word children. Always throw out the word children. It pulls on people's heartstrings, Hillary. Pull on their heartstrings. You got to get them votes. But what is the problem? The problem is government is in charge. Doesn't matter if it's state, local, federal. It doesn't matter when they're in charge. It's nothing more than a buddy-buddy system. I'm in charge, so I want my good buddy to be head of the water department. What qualifications does he have? Freaking none. But he's in charge now. Is he really qualified? Not at all. But I'm in charge, and I want my buddies in here. And I have the right, through the American taxpayer, to elect people that I want in my office. I have to have that duty. We can't burden the taxpayers to vote for all these, we'd be voting for people to be hired and fired. We have to have the ability to do that. So you guys have to trust me that I'll make the right decisions. Just look at Obama. Who did he put in his cabinet? Right off the bat. And of course he pretty much, they jumped ship almost right away. Rahm Emanuel, I bet he's a swell, perfectly, educated in the politics and everything he needs to. He is the right guy who promptly left to go run the slums of Chicago. None of these people are qualified. These people aren't even qualified to walk your dog, let alone run the freaking country. And you have people who aren't qualified to walk your freaking dog, who are in fact, and not just running your country, those positions, but mayor, governor. How could a governor, again, Flint, Michigan, how in the hell do you have these terrible levels of lead in your water for 2 years? And you take, like, literally no actionable action against this problem, to deal with this problem. I feel like Austin Powers, actionable action. Allow myself to introduce myself. Like, how do you not do anything? Well, we talked about it. For 2 years? How much water do you think people drank in this area in 2 years? Well, that's why you have to take matters and the responsibility into your own hands. And some people may say, well, I got a creek out there and been producing fresh water since, I was a boy. I'll be honest with you, I might be more frightened of that these days. Because you don't know what your neighbor or neighbors or big company upstream is doing. Did they bury something in their yard that they shouldn't have buried because they didn't have money to go and dump it properly? So they just buried it in their yard somewhere. Now it's leaking underground, getting into the stream. Oops. We have no idea. And since you have no freaking idea, take matters in your own hands and get a phenomenal reverse osmosis water system. I know a lot of you have heard over the last few years how some of the big shots, big money players have been talking about water as opposed to oil. That water's ultimately in the near future going to become the next big thing. Wasn't it T. Boone Pickens, one of that guy, who mentioned it also, several others. Some of them have even purchased land over big aquifers. And we're quoted as talking about water being the next oil. So if water's the next oil, and not just water, clean drinking water was usually with the quote. If that's the next oil, then it tells you they already know. Not just a source of water, but it must be clean. Therefore, if they can get their hands on water and then purify it, they can sell the water. Which I'm trying to think, which world leader was it that said something like we should charge for water? I can't remember who said that. I remember when they said it because I did a video on it, but I don't know who it was now. Said that water, it should not be free. It's not a God-given right. They should be charging for it. They were quoted as saying that. I almost feel like it was someone from Japan, like a Japanese leader or something, but I don't remember. That's the mindset of these people. So do you think they're in a hurry? Oh, you got lead in the water? Let's fix that. Oh, you got that problem? Let's fix that. They may, hey, man, we got a huge deal. I'm invested in this company. I stand to make multi millions if I let this problem get bad enough. And then we have to call in the big boys to come purify. We have to have this big system put into place in the city. In that case, I stand to make a fortune. So it's in my best interest to drag my feet, show poor results. You never know. You have no idea what's going on behind closed doors. But if you look at history, even recent history of how it's been going, it seems like there's a backroom deal for just about everything that you thought there shouldn't be because you're already paying these bastards a high salary to do their freaking job. Ain't good enough. Not good enough. I need to make multi-millions. I want to be somebody. And the only way I can be somebody, not joining the army, being all you can be, no. The only way you can be somebody is to take these backroom deals, make huge amounts of money, and who gives a crap what happens to anyone else, including themselves. Right? All these companies and all these politicians that have allowed, like an FDA, allowed these poisonous crap in our food and call it safe. Don't think for 1 second that they got their own personal organic farm, or they've been hired like a farmer to, to come in and grow my crops for me, so that I have, I know I'm poisoning everyone else, but I needed to do it so I can be rich. But I myself, I'm just gonna have organic stuff. No, these people are eating the same crap. They're eating the same garbage. Now, I don't know about the guys at the very top. They may know. The Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, these two big families, dynasties. These people probably know all about it. But the minions, the public officials, they don't know crap. They know they're doing wrong. They don't care. They'll eat the same stuff that they put out there. It doesn't even matter. Now, I will say, with an exception, one of the spokespersons from Monsanto was being interviewed. I think it was wasn't it a French news crew? Glyphosate, it's safe. I would eat it. It's not a problem. It doesn't harm the human body. Oh, really? We bought some with us. Here. Would you be willing to drink this on live TV for this interview? I'm not stupid. And he gets up and walks off. You just pimped that stuff is safe. You would eat it, drink it, put mustard on it, and eat it. And then they hand it to you during the interview. You weren't expecting that. We have some here. Would you drink this? I'm not stupid. And walks off the set. What do you mean you're not stupid? What does that mean? You said it's safe, you can drink it, you would eat it. We brought you some. I'm not stupid. That tells me you're not stupid. It is extremely unsafe. You wouldn't dare put it in your body. And the answer is no. I'm now leaving off the set because you caught me red-handed. This is the world we live in. You got guys like that telling everyone on TV it's safe, I would even drink it and eat it myself. And then they give it to them. Here are some. I'm not stupid, and walks off the set. These are the people who are okaying the stuff you put in your body. Food, drink, etc. And since there's only two things you really put in your body, food and some type of water, drink, whatever, we really have to take responsibility with what we put in our body. And I'll be the first to admit, I like going out to eat. Lunch and stuff, with my buddies at work. But one of the most important things you put in your body is water. So, if anything needs to be purified, it's freaking water. Because that helps cleanse your body as well. Gotta go. Got an MRI to do on my foot today. Hopefully fix this damn problem I've had for years. Had a surgery on it a while back. Didn't do a damn thing. Incompetent doctor like you can't believe. Doctor, there's a mark on the MRI. I noticed you didn't quite cut where that mark is. You cut in the spot to strictly cut the nerve out. Yeah, well, that's what we went in for, to just cut the nerve out. But I thought we were doing exploratory surgery because we weren't sure if it was a foot neuroma. Well, I think the MRI said it was a foot neuroma. I said, I think the MRI said that it might also be a cyst, that it could be a cyst. I don't think so. Let me go get that paperwork. Oh, yeah, it does say possible cyst, ganglion cyst, or neuroma, foot neuroma. Yeah, it does say that. So, what do we do? Well, we could go back into surgery again. We could do another surgery, schedule another surgery. All right, but I'm paying out of pocket. So, I mean, are you responsible for that, or? Oh no, you'd have to pay it again. Okay. Yeah, we'll hold off on that right now. Now, I have insurance. So, I hope with this new MRI, check it out, make sure you still see something there, because there has to be. My freaking foot has been killing me for years now. And let me get this thing cut out properly. I will not be going back to that doctor. I'll be going to another one that was recommended by my primary care physician. Wish me luck. But it ain't happening today. I'm just doing the MRI. Take care.